All right, some updates coming in. Father of Captain Sumit Sabharwal, who was one of the pilots in the ill-fated Air India Dreamliner, has now demanded a formal investigation by the central government. In a letter to the Civil Aviation Secretary and the AAIB Director General, the 91-year-old Pushkaraj Sabharwal said that the selective leaks about the accident have led to speculation that Sumit was under tremendous psychological pressure and therefore was contemplating committing suicide. Now, he is saying this entire leak sort of tarnishes his son's image and he's appealing against it. Now, let me break that open. My colleague Sumit Bharadwaj joins us for more. Amit Bharadwaj joins us for more details on this. Amit, I can only but wonder the plight of a 91-year-old fighting and taking this escalating matters only to keep the reputation of his son intact.
Which has been shot by the 91-year-old Pushkaraj Sabharwal, the father of, Captain Sumit Sabharwal, who was one of the pilots on the ill-fated AI-171. Yet again brings back the concern of the families of crew members and more so for the pilots, because we had seen as to how the selective stories done, particularly in international media houses, were making innuendos that possibly, these pilots were at fault, and the attempt was to pin the blame on the two pilots, Clive Kunda as well as Captain Sumit Sabharwal. But now the father of Sumit Sabharwal has written a letter to the senior official at the Civil Aviation Ministry seeking a formal inquiry, which will, in a way, under Rule 12 of the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, and that would have an independent Supreme Court judge as well, retired Supreme Court judge, investigating into the entire matter. However, having said that, the investigation or the preliminary report which is issued, which is released in public domain, is never to put the blame on any individual for the crash. Rather, it brings to the fore only the specific details of the crash as to when did it happen and what could be possibly the primary reason. What happened in this particular case, selective text from the conversation regarding the fuel control switches were actually, put out of context. Back to you.
All right, Amit, thanks so much for that update. Like we said, one can only imagine the plight of the 91-year-old who's now, after having lost his son, is fighting for his reputation.